Hey, check it out. It's everyone's favorite character, Samuel Haight. Yes, thank you, thank you. I know he's great. I know he's great. This is the worst story ever told in World of Darkness, dude. I'm not even kidding you. Alright, so Samuel Haight. Whenever you hear people talk about don't mix the splats with World of Darkness, don't cross vampire with werewolf, with mage, with changeling, with wraith, with demon, with hunter, this is the guy that people will cite as the reason why you don't want to do that. Samuel Haight is a pretty infamous figure in World of Darkness, specifically with werewolf and mage players too, I suppose. But why does he not work? Why exactly is the issue with Samuel Haight? Let's try going over this. I'll see how much of the story I can cover in one breath without stammering. So Samuel Haight was a child of Gaia kinfolk that envied not being a werewolf. He envied his brothers and wished he could be a werewolf as well. So in order to cope with this, he became a big game hunter that would hunt other animals and hunted just about every other animal until he was attacked by Nosferatu. He learned what vampires were. He started hunting vampires. He went after the Tremere. He went and stole the Tremere's magic after attacking a chantry and became a sorcerer after copying their blood thaumaturgy. He learned ritual magic from the Verbena in India and learned of a ritual that would turn him into a werewolf. It was to collect 5 different pelts of werewolves and then cast a spell. In order to find these pelts, he went over to Wyoming, killed 3 werewolves that belonged to the Valkenburg Foundation, and in order to cover himself, in order to create an alibi, he gave money to the Valkenburg Foundation until he eventually staged an attack with truckers and other drunkards to lure werewolves into an attack where he jumped them, got the pelts that he needed, did the ritual, and went off into the Umbra, where he was now a Guru. While in the Umbra, he went crazy, became possessed by a Bane, captured by a Bane, tortured by the Bane, and got a corrupt Zamichi to bail him out. Once he was bailed out, he joined Pentex, went all the way to South America to find a wizard in a city called El Dorado. He found a sword called a Conquistador sword that stole gifts. He found El Dorado, killed El Dorado, became a pseudo-mage, killed Aleister Crowley back in Kansas after failing to convince the Verbena to let him join a chantry. Went all the way, stole a magic pumpkin branch, and became an ascended mage. Tried to join with the Camarilla in order to become embraced, got denied his entry into the Camarilla, went off to Mexico City to diabolize the torport corpse of Nurgle, and then died, and then was soul forged into an ashtray by Stygia. Great story, right? And what a great way to summarize Samuel Haight. You've got a child of Gaia kinfolk, youngblood hunter, sorcerer who became a worm-corrupted Guru Verbena mage who tried joining the Camarilla, then died and became a wraith. I think if you can't describe what your character is supposed to be in only 3 words, and I have to use an entire sentence to describe a character, I think you've really overdone it with the character. This is the same kind of energy as a DeviantArt OC. You know, the characters that you made when you were 12 years old in order to make yourself look badass in order to have a power fantasy. It just doesn't work with Samuel Haight. I know that this is a character that's supposed to be power hungry, and he did all this so he could become the strongest in the world in order to come over his own insecurities about not being a werewolf. But come on, you could have stopped it with the Valkenburg Foundation. You could have stopped it with that ritual. You didn't have to go all the way with the mage and the vampire. This feels like it was a little subtle jab. I think Samuel Haight is supposed to be ironic. When you looked at White Wolf's forums from back in the early 2000s and you saw all the different ways players were making deliberately overpowered characters, trying to metagame, power game, come up with the strongest character possible that would just influence everything in the final night, solve the apocalypse, solve the Ascension Wars. This feels like it's a character that's made to make fun of that kind of character with Samuel Haight. And, well, there is one thing about Samuel Haight that I do like: the Skin Dancers themselves. I think the Skin Dancers as a concept is great, actually. A bunch of disgruntled humans that lose their minds and hunt werewolves in order to become werewolves. I think that's great. I like the Youngbloods. I really do like the Youngbloods from Hunters Hunted, and I wish that more was done with them. But this just doesn't really work with Samuel Haight. What made World of Darkness work well, it's a world. All this stuff going on, vampires, wizards, werewolves, yeah, they all coexist with each other, but they don't ever interact with each other this much. You've got some serendipity here, you've got some subtlety. These guys would influence each other from a distance, and wouldn't have a character steamroll through all of their splats and try to take over and become the main character or main villain, so to speak. It works when it's a more cohesive world, not just the story of one character, which is why I don't think Samuel Haight really works. But it's good that he got made. It's a meme amongst the World of Darkness fans, and you know what? May his story go on. May the story of Samuel Haight be remembered as the dumbest story ever told in Werewolf the Apocalypse. What a great job we have here. What a wonderful World of Darkness indeed.